In early access of Thrones of Decay, a lot of people disagreed with the Gyrocopter change, didn't like it, thought it was bad. I was not one of those people. I've always thought that it was a great change to make them into multi-model units and to kind of rework how their missile attacks are. A lot of people, disagreed in the comments, which is fine. That's absolutely within their right to do, and, honestly kind of funny to me since I'm the one with access and they're not. That, to be fair, I am often wrong on those early access takes. That being said, I'm curious how many of you out there who initially were skeptical of the Gyrocopter change have had a chance to play with it now, have maybe come around, or maybe you still hate it. I don't know, to be honest. Let me know whatever your thoughts are in the comments below, but certainly this one from the community here. This one's from Monch via Discord once again. We've got 4 gyros here, and he's going to be using them quite aggressively, I will say. Spoiler alert, in just a minute. They're going to skirmish forward here and do a little bit of damage to this initial front line of Jade Warriors, which really are an ideal unit for the Steam Gyros to shoot at with their armor-piercing, explosive shots. Tightly packed infantry, of course, will take quite a bit of damage, but we've got a front line of said Jade Warriors, Onyx Crowmen on the flanks, and some Iron Hail Gunners with more Crane Gunners. Lots of gunpowder for this Cathayan build, 2 cannons in the back even to round things out. Some Peasant Long Spears mixed in to protect everything. So yeah, some nice layers. We've got the Dragon-Blooded Shungan of Yin on foot with Talons of the Night, Storm Shadows, looking for maximum value from that Talons for AoE damage against the Dwarfs, who do have some magic resistance, of course, but still are going to take damage from it. Front line of Miners here in the Vanguard are going to take some high damage initially from those Crane Gunners, but Hammerers and Quarrelers to back them up. We've also got some Dwarf Warriors here, a couple of Dragon Slayers, very interesting. Completely stripped of all their spells and abilities. They're going to be pretty cheap overall. Don't have any armor, but overall great stats with anti-large AP. And then there's a Rune Lord here standing in for Thorax, so let's get things rolling. Yeah, the Gyros are going to come in, do some initial damage. The armor-piercing missiles of Cathay. Oh yeah, the ROR Grimdelvers here, the Thunderers with shotguns also. They're going to get charged, but they have, of course, Frenzy and 37, 36 stats. They're actually probably going to outclass these Jade Warriors in melee, but anyway. Yeah, the gunpowder fight here. Initially, the gunpowder units are going to kind of aim at the infantry of the Dwarfs as the battle starts, but very quickly they will switch onto the Gyros. Monch, realizing this, is going to do the only right thing and charge his Gyros into melee. And this is actually another situation where having more models is much better. You see how they can actually fully occupy this unit of Crane Gunners and just straight up beat them in melee, which, to be honest, is a very cost-effective trade. Crane Guns are more expensive than the Gyros by several hundred points. So just a 1-to-1 trade right there is actually extremely cost-effective for that unit of Gyros. Another unit of Gyros does get absolutely exploded by cannons. This one here is able to make some contact. We're getting recharged by Crowman, which is fine. The other ones there, again, charging into the Crane Guns, trading okay, but let's see if they can get back up into the air perhaps and do some more. Pulling away from the Crowman there. Yeah, interesting use. I actually really like the charge of the Gyros there, to be honest. And again, those Grimdelvers fighting against Jade Warriors just fine. We've got a duel of the Lords here in the center as well, that the Rune Lord and the Demon Slayers are definitely getting the better of, but oh yeah, just had to show you these Grimdelvers. Part of the reason they're winning, too, is that some of them do actually kind of shoot short range. You see some of the ones in the back rank are actually firing into melee here, as that one Cathayan dude just goes full Fallout and has his head explode. But anyway, yeah, the Shungan Lord just gets straight up sniped here. And the Dragon Slayer's being fast enough that she cannot escape. It's pretty hopeless to kind of run forward like that in front of the army, but still, with that loss, Cathay is still in a pretty decent position. A lot of their gunpowder units are still online. This is why you bring so many of them and overlap them in different layers, as some get compromised and killed. You still have plenty of firepower left. There's multiple Crane Guns online, multiple cannons online, still got some Iron Hails. So things are looking decent, all things considered. Yeah, look at the damage there on those Quarrelers. The Onyx Crowmen charge in. We have some Longbeards here. Did I call them Dwarf Warriors earlier? Definitely. Well, are they Longbeards? No, actually. I'm mistaken. Those are Hammerers. What am I talking about? Anyway. Yeah, those are Dwarf Warriors. Yeah, the Grimdelvers just continuing to fight. I love that they're just, like, duking it out with some Jade Warriors. Even if it's not crazy cost-effective, it's still just cool that they can. But yeah, Hammerers charging on through. Cathayan guns re-securing themselves once more. But the Rune Lord and the Dragon Slayers pushing through. Speed of the Dragon Slayers will once again come into play. 42 speed, they can definitely get through. Rune Lord like using some of the Cathayan cannons to block some gunfire here as he charges up. Absolutely fantastic. See the Iron Hails running, but Dragon Slayers will certainly be able to catch them. In the meantime, the rest of the Dwarven line troops are trying their best to advance here, getting shelled pretty badly. Yeah, the hammer's just getting torn to shreds there as they try and attack those Jade Warriors. Grimdelver's still getting a little bit of value out as well. But this unit of crane guns here is quite threatening, but once again, trusty gyros. Only 4 unit models left alive. They're going to do a little volley there, and then are they going to charge on in once more? Yep. Which I don't know if they'll win this time. There's only a handful of models left, but even still, I love the attitude of the gyro pilots. I mean, they're not necessarily losing very quickly, so maybe they'll be able to rout those units off. Leadership is dropping quite low for those crane gunners as these grand cannons continue to shell here in the center. Volnix Crowmen are definitely proving to be a problem, mopping up quite a few units, but tactically this is absolutely massive. This gyro coming in, not only occupying, but perhaps even fully routing? Well, maybe not. Looks like the crane gunners managed to recover their leadership together, but at the very least, they've been able to keep them occupied for quite some time. Just prevented them from just blasting away at all these remaining Dwarven troops, to be honest. But it's going to be up to the Dragon Slayers and the Rune Lord in this late game to carry a lot of this. I mean, these line troops just really don't have a lot of life left in the tank here. Handful of Corlers still remaining. A few more, yeah, have returned from route there in the back, but ultimately it will be up to the Dwarven heroes to finish a lot of this. We're going to fast forward somewhat as the 2 Dragon Slayers continue chasing various units. The Grimdelvers somehow are not being focused by the crane guns. They're too busy focusing like whatever's the healthiest unit, which, you know, certainly an argument to be made there, or focused hammerers now just because they're relatively high leadership, so it's interesting, but these crane guns do eventually start to run low on ammo. They probably feasted on some value. But the Crowmen also, as they attack here, these battered armored Dwarven units, they'll do okay. Regiment Renown has plenty of stats, 41 melee defense, no problem. Won't be taking many hits in return. Yeah, Dwarfs also trying their best to chase this one cannon, which is running away. But the Dwarven heroes, Dragon Slayers only having 0 armor, only 0, yes, is quite a detriment to them. That said, there's not a lot of high DPS melee units here, so like perhaps they would die in a grind to more healthier like Jade Warriors and stuff, but I don't think they really need to worry too much about the melee component here of the Cathayan army that remains. They should be able to, especially all formed up together, grind through it no problem. In terms of the missiles, this crane gun's pretty much out, but the one remaining Iron Hail is looking pretty dangerous. So let's see how the Dwarves can respond and try and shut that last one down as it tears a pretty good chunk out of the Rune Lord there. Yeah, the Onyx Crowmen are going to come try and screen once more. Last charge of the hammers as they try and trudge up the hill there. But, ooh, a little Rune of Slowness. Absolutely devastating. Keep those Iron Hails from being able to escape. Dragon Slayer's just going to keep getting hits the whole time. This other Dragon Slayer just racking up hundreds of kills here. Well, not quite, but just slowly grinding through this unit of Peasant Long Spears. 24 attack versus 50 defense. Not going to be getting a whole lot of hits, but every hit they do get is full weapon strength. So, see those little chunks come here and there. As that Dragon Slayer gets worn down, but the other Dragon Slayer doing his thing. The Hammer is also trusty. Managed to impact on the charge and actually help rout some very tattered Jade Warriors here. So the Rune Lord also on his anvil does mean he's going to have some extra resistance here. Physical and missile resistance, which means all the bullets he ate there, which, yeah, there were quite a few. Did less damage to him than they would other units. Eventually, Cathay just faces army losses, and their units are just going to chain routes. So there you go. Dwarven leadership carries at the end there. But interesting to see the Dragon Slayers. I mean, they tactically did exactly what they needed to. Sniped Lord and just helped, you know, carry the leadership there in the end game. Grimdelvers also, despite facing quite the uphill battle the whole time, were able to pay for themselves. Pretty much, what are they, like 900? Maybe not quite, but still, 13,000 total damage dealt, tactically. Super important. And again, the gyros, speaking of tactical importance, I mean, considering they cost around, what, 700? They're 3 of them pretty much on point. One of them almost double, so if you average out the value, they're all pretty close, right? About 700 each, give or take. But yeah, that's definitely solid. Definitely a very solid performance. I love the aggression too, and even just the initial volleys there. But, you know, showcasing how those extra unit models are not only useful for shooting, but definitely charging into melee against very vulnerable targets. Even still, though, look at one of these crane guns over 2,000 damage value. Just such a dangerous unit in this matchup, as Jezzails have been forever, pretty much, for Skavens since they came out. Since the Jezzails came out, that is. Iron Nails also, really good value on them. Can be great in this matchup. Cathayan player, other than getting their Lord sniped, really didn't make too many mistakes, but that was a pretty critical error and definitely cost some leadership there in the endgame. I mean, yeah, not having her on any kind of mount, like I get, I'm definitely guilty of that at times at Dwarves. Like, oh, my Lord's not a threat of getting sniped in melee. Like, well, I don't need a mount. I can just run away. They're Dwarves. But no, Slayers are fast, and they're fast enough to get a lot of Foot Lords. And you gotta watch out for them, for sure. So let's just check the cost, actually, real quick on these Dragon Slayers as a hero. With nothing on them. I didn't really highlight them too much in the early access. I guess maybe this could be a highlight for them, but yeah, only 600 points. Wow, that's very cost-effective. Did they maybe have the Worthy Foe passive? Perhaps, maybe not. I don't think you really need it. Cathay doesn't have that much that causes terror. Maybe say Tang in this matchup, perhaps, but I don't know. Seems really vulnerable to shooting. So, I don't know, 600 points for just Unbreakable Dwarf with great stats and no armor. That's pretty good, so definitely seems appealing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.